my gosh. It is so burning.
Gemma did not, in fact, make it home.
Have you had those situations where you wonder whether in consuming content and listening to podcasts, reading books, and what have you, whether maybe you're learning too much, or maybe you're really having some deep understandings and you think, what the heck have I done with my life? That's the kind of thing I'm having happen. This is a forever process. Here are a few of the thoughts that have been going through my mind right now, and maybe you're having similar ones. I'm just going to chat to camera. I don't have it all figured out. I don't think any of us really do. Have I become a cynic? Oh, gosh. I've mentioned a few times about adapting to a new environment, and the heat definitely is a challenge.
Heat is good for you. Nature's sauna.
But I'm finding it some form of weird, warped mindfulness/meditation exercise where I tell myself to just stay calm and hydrated, and that this is just how it goes, and I find a way of navigating and dealing with it, being intelligent about it, of course, don't just lay out baking on a beach or the desert.
Wet hair as it's drying, snap drying in 30 seconds. Wow, this is great. I'll just stand here. Oh, halo, halo, da 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 da. Oh, Beyonce, you're in my head.
Acceptance in the sense of reducing your desire to fight and pick a battle with everything that makes you feel uncomfortable. There is something beautiful and wonderful and freeing about accepting things just the way they are instead of wishing that they're different. And a whole lot of energy gets freed up when you just stop freaking fighting. Like, I'm a fighter. Anyone who's known me, if I choose to target something, I will take it down. I have always struggled with the heat, and being in a very hot climate is challenging me. And this is a very good thing. When I become impatient or grumpy, I'm like one of those babies that kind of just want to cry and fall asleep and do nothing and then can't fall asleep because they're so miserable. It's kind of like how I am, but can somebody just put me to bed?
I'm actually off to help feed a cat for a friend of mine that I've made over here. She's on holiday. I take care of her not adopted cat. It is 7 o'clock in the morning at about 34 degrees Celsius, so giving you an indicator. What I'm doing here is I have created a water feeding station for the cat. Maybe other cats can use it too, who knows. I've got to a point where I don't care whether I don't look fashionable. I care about whether I have good health and whether my skin's going to burn to a crisp out here. So wearing a daggy hat, don't care. 50 plus, this one's made in Australia. It's fantastic. I'm so glad I brought it out here. I didn't realize how UV index could actually go to 12. It goes to 12, kids.
And secondly, part of that is realizing every single path that you choose, there's going to be a trade-off. You just have to choose a path, because fantasizing about another option is, again, a waste of energy. Either take the action or don't, and stop thinking about the possible fantasy and ruminating about other possible things you could have done with your life. And critically, I'm finding that indecision, not making a decision, not committing, is actually the worst position to put yourself in, because when you don't decide and you're sitting on the fence and you're halfway about making a decision about any direction, you're not even receiving the full benefit of learning from making a decision. You're sitting there going, maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't, oh, but this, that, and you're sitting in the doorway and not actually going through it. So you're not learning by fully committing to a decision, but you're also not happy where you are by committing to deciding to stay where you are. And deciding means that you will learn the lesson a heck of a lot quicker than spending a decade of your life going, oh, maybe I'll make that. Like, oh my gosh, how many decades do we seriously have to sit on the fence about things? So that's another realization I'm having. By eliminating options and going in one direction and deliberately choosing, you give yourself a focus and you shut out other options until you completely give something a real go and figure out whether it's in alignment with you.
It's about 10:40. Probably nearing about 40 degrees right now. My ride is about to arrive. I'm going to see if I can hit the gym. I pray the aircon is freezing cold. Do you feel the burn, do you? Or are you too busy taking selfies instead of working out? Overhead press. If you're not pushing 25, catch up.
The other thing I have been pondering is the idea of wanting less. This sounds so monk-like, but I believe there's something very wise about the idea of wanting less. It doesn't mean you don't have desires and that you don't have a goal, but it just means most of the stuff that we want, we have instant gratification everywhere. We want to watch a show, you can have that. You don't like something, you can get rid of it. You can unsubscribe, you can resubscribe, you can dump somebody. There's just so many things. Every time you want something, you can be at the whim of your emotion. And that's dangerous territory because you become very unstable. Adjusting your expectations doesn't mean not having any. You got to have some benchmark. You got to have some boundary. Figuring out what your values are. I know I did another video on figuring out what your values are. That's where it comes into play as well because you feel so much happier. Just simple things. I still love being able to have a shower, like with pressure water, because growing up, we didn't have running water in our family growing up, quite remote. So we'd have to boil a pot of water on a fire, tip it into a canvas camping bag, throw it over the limb of a tree out in the bush. And when it was windy, you'd sort of have to try and have a shower very quickly underneath the dripping like shower rose that was from the canvas bag. So that was your shower. And so now, even to this day, every time I turn on a hot water is great. And a pressure shower, instant shower, it's amazing. You don't have to spend 30 minutes boiling the water, throwing the rope over the tree and doing the canvas bag thing. It's like simple things like that make me so happy. And clean water makes me so happy. Like right now, we tear through so much of this out here. Everything's bottled water. Here's the Arabic. Don't you love it? I love reading things in different languages. I'm a bit slack. I haven't learned Arabic. I need certain phrases, but I need to be sponsored by Duolingo, maybe. Duolingo, but it's simple stuff. Drinking water, clean water. Shower, food. Like the food is good. I'm going to get fat out here for sure. And I'm going to be happy doing it. Why do you think I've got elastic pants on right now? Look at this. Yes, life is good, okay? It's good. Receiving love and showing love and finding things to damn well appreciate is it. That is it. I love that I have a phone that can record videos. I can take it with me, walk outside, and have the mental creative space to decide where I'm going to point the camera and what I'm going to film and what kind of stories I want to create and share. And given the advent of AI and how fast technology is evolving, finding ways in which you want to contribute in an uplifting and positive way is so critical right now.
I have been resurrected. Right now, I'm off to feed my friend's cat. Where is she? She could be under the car. Or I might just have to rattle the keys.
I want to create joyful, meaningful, fun content. Hello, darling. Look at you. Yeah, hi. There you go. Good girl.
This one is a homeless cat who my friend... Oh, she stuck her face right in there. Do you see her nose? I'm going to show you her snout. Look at you.
And I want to tell you how much I appreciate you because there are a lot of people walking around who don't really get much praise. And we all seem to get into a habit of allowing our minds to always focus on the problem and trying to find a solution that we often forget or we overlook. Telling people how well they're actually doing, how much they're doing right, how much we appreciate them just being there as a person and not necessarily what they do. And imagine getting that every day. How watering and hydrating that would be for our soul. I'm becoming more mindful of trying to do that every day, thanking somebody, being vulnerable enough to be willing to look like a fool by smiling at somebody and thanking them for something that might be as simple as opening a door for you. It's the small things that add up to your entire life. I don't wish to get too emotional about this because it's very meaningful to me and it has an impact. But sometimes the experiences we have in our life, even if they're quite traumatic or they're things that we wish never happened, sometimes they are the best things to help guide us to transmute those experiences into something positive. And certainly the decision that I'm trying to make. I try to think of every time that I've experienced something unpleasant, I think of how can I turn this into something that will help me become a better person. I think that's really the only way through. And maybe that's just what I've discovered, and maybe that's something that resonates with you, but let me know. Feel free to leave a comment, something that you might have found helpful in your life to chart and overcome some of the struggles. And definitely for me, it's playing a bit of an alchemist and changing the energy from hate, anger, pain, suffering into happiness, hence comedy, laughing, joy, love, appreciation, inspiration, adventure, curiosity, learning, and sharing. Okay, so I went on for a lot longer than what I originally planned to. It's one of those talk to camera, nothing's scripted, and see whether you like this kind of format or video. I'm more than happy to do more of that because it's a lot more freeing to be able to chat to camera and imagine that I'm just sitting across from a friend having a chat. Thank you for watching my random day of, in the life of, being a human being. I hope you have an amazing week ahead.
Okay, so now I'm going to go back home. Food, one of my favorite topics. So this is pretty much how I cook. I cook the same meals, rotate them. Salmon, look at that. Whoop. Cooked at 350 degrees Fahrenheit because this oven is American style. It's massive. Also in the background, I was working for a department and some of the executive assistants there got me this as a gift. Thank you so much, V and Natasha. You're amazing. Hang on, Zoolander. I can't do Blue Steel 6. See, clearly I didn't affect the screen. You didn't go into a coma.